Hello, listeners. We are back with another episode of the Pitchmark Collective. We've got Cam today. We got a full crew today. We got Cam. We got Justin, second place. I am assuming that is alluding to our point system, pick 'em season long. He's making strides from last year. And we got Teddy down here, who we're going to transition to real quickly here based off his little bubble. If you're watching the video, it says will not pay $100 or more for golf. Teddy, can you expand on that for the listeners?
So the weather looks decent this weekend. It was okay this past Saturday. I've taken some time off. I'm ready to get back out there. I'm not gonna want to kill myself when I hit a couple bad shots. So I was looking for tee times for this weekend, and I mean like $120, $130 for courses that are like $60 courses, maybe $70 courses. And it's just because all of these old people come down during the winter. So everybody's trying to play golf. It's hard to get a tee time, and it's twice the price of what it usually is for no reason. Absolutely no reason. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, Cam. I'm not paying over $100 for a $50 course.
So it's definitely got a little more context than the little bubble will allow you to describe, right?
Yes, there is a character limit.
Yeah. So I agree. Unfortunately, with the demand being so high in the Denver area, you'd be hard pressed to not like pay at least $80, $75 for a course worth playing. Now you got good conditions. Like I know which courses are well taken care of. Whether they host some sort of tournament, pretty consistently, they have to kind of keep up. But it's hard
I
not
don't
to
I
get
don't
close to that
mind
$100 mark.
paying. Yeah, I don't mind paying 70, $80 for like an okay course. Like,
Mhm.
it's not the greatest track or layout, but like it's in good shape, and it's $80. It's going to be
Yeah.
a nice day. That's fine. I
But
have no problem doing that.
Teddy, even so my municipal course that I belong to, like right now, I just looked it up. It was $63. It's in the winter, right? So it's like, I mean, we have snow on the ground, so hopefully we'll get to play this weekend. But like in the summertime at prime time, like 7 a.m., it is, I think it's 108, 110. That's a
Do you
muni.
pay that?
No, because I pay for the membership there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're getting into, Cam. This is what Teddy's asking for help on, is that he needs to find a golf club to be a member at now.
Ooh.
I think that's what he was trying to say.
I'm open to maybe exploring those opportunities, and maybe getting some feedback from the public, and letting them decide.
Was Teddy back? Teddy could be back in golf.
Because then I would also have to play, or at least go there to feel like I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah. When we moved into this house and we looked at a club down the road, it was very family friendly. Pools, indoor tennis, pickleball courts being built, 27 holes, full restaurant, full bar, all that. I looked at my wife and said, like, you understand what you're doing if we join here, correct? It's fully private, right? It's not, like a municipal whatever. I'm like, we will be here. I will be here
all the time,
literally every day.
You have to.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. But we ultimately just didn't build that into the budget. Maybe in the future, but it's a great place called the Pinery. Nice little
The
tracks,
Pinery?
but the Pinery.
So my
It's
course
about
is Muni. It's 20 minutes from us, but like it doesn't have anything else except for golf. Like it has a restaurant and stuff like that and a bar.
but it works
is
because
just
your
golf.
daughter has the itch. Your daughter is a golfer. You're a golfer. Like
Yeah, and I mean we're there all the time, but it's like it's $200, but that's where it comes, like pay for the membership, because if I wanted to play
$200
at
a
7,
month.
yeah, if I wanted to play at 7 a.m., it's $110 by itself. So like
yeah,
yeah,
a round and a half, and you've got your money's worth.
yeah.
But what
What,
was
you
I
just
gonna
got to pay for a cart?
I walk. I've never.
What does your membership include? Just green fees?
Sorry.
Greens? Yeah. So
Unlimited green fees.
unlimited greens fees and range.
That's
With the practice. So because I
that's
pay
really cheap.
It's a killer deal.
$195 a year for range is so yeah, it's awesome. But it's 20 minutes away. So most people in like Bend proper, like that's a little quote unquote too far. And it's a municipal and it's not one of the fancy courses. Like we've got a bunch of cool private courses here. Like Pronghorn, that's 45 minutes from me.
Right.
Aubrey Glen is right around the corner. That's private. Tethero, which McClay Kid, you guys have heard of that course. That was the one he was building when he was having the divorce. So it is like crazy difficult in some of those areas. But that's 45 grand initiation and then $500 a month. And they close it down November 1st and they don't open until April 20th most years. So like I've been playing year round at
Who do
my
they think
course.
they are?
Nice.
Augusta?
Yeah, pretty much. So, but I mean, if there was we talked about it last year and we actually thought about it because it was kind of a bummer during COVID. The course that we would join, which is Bend Golf and Country Club, they had $0 initiation. And because they like golf they blew up their membership. It's now up to $15,000, which granted, in the grand scheme of private clubs, not a lot of money, right? But
No.
Right.
do the math of what I'm looking at. I'm like, that's 7 years worth of golf. I get invited to go play over there all the time. I play the member guest over there. I kind of like, it's kind of nice to not go over there and get bored by it.
Treat that you
Yeah.
get to enjoy
Yeah.
every once in a while. Yeah. I got you.
So I don't know, but that's my favorite course around here for a club. But it would also, take the cost from, $220 a month plus whatever food and stuff to, I think a few of my buddies over there said it's like $650 now.
Yeah.
Not
And
horrible, but
pro shop minimums or restaurant
yeah,
minimums
food
too.
and beverage.
Yeah.
Cam,
So,
the Pinery looks pretty nice. I think you and your wife should revisit this discussion.
I agree. We probably will in the coming future. But it was nice too. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, initiation fee. You just got to cut them a big check like right away. You have to pay it all in full. But I'm pretty sure the Pinery offered like quarterly payments of it was $9,000.
Yeah, I think most of them will do something like
which
that.
I didn't. Which I guess I didn't realize, which is probably just my ignorance of never speaking with a private club in that.
Some
aspect,
of the clubs you can actually get some of it back too. Like Aubrey here, like just around the corner from us, you're an owner, and so you get quote unquote stock in it. And so, you won't get 100% of it back, but you can get a percentage. And if the stock has grown and things have gotten better, like it could go up, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Most of the pricing, because I kind of looked at it when we first moved up here, and most of the pricing was like, I think on the cheap end was like $400 a month, and then you're looking at 10, 12 grand for initiation for the young professional. So,
but if you think about $400 a month, it's not even that bad if you plan on.
Not if I'm going to have to pay $100 every time I want to go play.
Go play once a weekend, and you've just covered that plus.
I know.
Yeah, the Pinery was 500, and then if you want to do an extra 99, you get access to Pradera, which is right down the road from the Pinery.
Oh.
But Pradera went to a lottery system with they just have too many members.
Yeah, COVID blew it up.
And even $500 a month, like if I play every weekend, once a week at least, paying say $100 plus, drinks, food, all that stuff, like it kind of evens out, which was funny because that's what my wife's math was thinking too. I'm like, yeah, but then we got, yeah. So, no, it's honestly, in our future.
Those Sarah would totally dig it. Like my buddy, his wife has never played golf before. She's gotten into golf. She does an every Tuesday night women's only night. Like they're there all the time for dinners and events and stuff like that. Like it ends up being more of a family thing rather than like obviously you go into it with like golf on your mind, but like the side benefits of like all the kids playing together and hanging out and all that kind of stuff, like it's real.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy, you were just looking. The Pinery had like an adults only pool. It had a
Yeah,
open pool, and then like a toddler pool,
it's
and
legit.
then it
And the
had
clubhouse is like a giant log cabin.
yeah,
Honestly, if we
it's
had that
beautiful out
in
there.
Bend with a like the pool piece and the course that I actually liked, we would probably be along there. That's the only thing that actually kept us from Bend. Is the pool is like an indoor pool that it has zero outdoor sun and stuff for the
Yeah,
summertime.
yeah. So
Plus,
no,
indoor pools are just kind of like you kind of feel
Weird.
yeah,
gross.
Yeah. The smell.
It's
But
humid. It's
I do
overly
look forward
humid.
to hearing about the course that you pick, Teddy. So
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward
maybe
to
on
it.
the
I
next episode we can get an update.
So Teddy
yeah,
Teddy lives in Jacksonville proper. So keep that in mind, listeners, when we're
pretty
sending in.
center. I live in the center of Jacksonville, so
That's what.
ideally, anything. There's one that's right down the street from me that would be the most convenient. Um,
Which one is that?
Deerwood Country Club
Okay. So if
or
we've got
Deer
any
Creek.
listeners that are members at Deerwood, we need an update on course conditions,
Deerwood. Yeah,
thoughts,
Membership
seeing
numbers,
it,
how many people are
all
out
those
there.
things.
it's a mile and a half from my apartment.
Yeah. From our garage to the Pinery, it's like 6 minutes. Um, Ideally, I could be in a financial spot to just go join Colorado Golf Club after being invited, but that's a bit down the road there financially. So
That's a pretty big jump, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's like six figures at least initiation. You gotta get invited.
Hey,
I
maybe
mean,
one of your bets is going to hit any day now. You
yeah,
know,
One of
any
these
day.
16 leggers is gonna hit, dude. Luckily, I know a guy at CGC. So all right, let's move on to some more golf talk. We had the triple header TGL on Monday, then the solo match on Tuesday. And I'll be the first to say Monday was really really good. Teddy wasn't able to watch it because apparently he had to work on Monday. It's President's Day. Somebody talked to his employer and tell him to figure it out. Justin and I were off. I watched plenty of it. Just hanging out at home, doing some stuff. Um, the new hammer rule: each team gets three hammers throughout the match. Worked out very
changes
well.
changes the dynamic of
what
the
was it
match.
before? Was it just you had one and then it would go back and forth, right, between teams?
Yeah.
But you would have to use it for it to go back and forth. Like
Right.
some teams would just hold on to
Could
it the
just
whole time
Hold
hold.
if they
on
went
to
out
it
to a
because
lead.
no need.
Yeah. So
So
that's a rule change that helped tremendously. With kind of the keeping the matches close, keeping teams in it. So I thought it was great Monday. Tuesday, not so much. But Justin, what was your thoughts on TGL this week?
Monday was cool. I mean, I mentioned it to you and you were like, yeah, I don't see that at all. But I think in the first couple matches, I don't think there was as many people there. And obviously not as many people having the day off, stuff like that. But I thought you could actually hear the players a little bit better because it wasn't so loud. Um, but I thought all three matches were entertaining, but it does come down to who's on that team. I mean, JT makes a difference being on a team because he's animated. He likes
Mhm.
to, be loud. I love it. I mean, JT is one of my favorite players, one of my daughter's favorite players. So when we sit down and Atlanta Drive's playing and, you know, he's playing, it's awesome. Um,
Billy too. He's really good in the
Honestly, I
corner.
think JT and Billy make a really, really good combo.
Yeah.
I kind of expected Lucas Glover just to kind of be quiet, but
Be
he
about his
made
business.
he he hit some shots, and I thought that was cool. But he didn't say a damn word the
Mhm.
entire time. So, kind of thought that was going to happen, and obviously did. But um, I mean, the match Atlanta versus LA was really cool to kind of see that happen. Atlanta versus the Bay was really good, and then I mean, obviously the Bay just kind of crushed on Boston. So even though it ended up being 5-4, it's closer than it was.
I
But
mean, it was a walk-off eagle putt. What do you mean crushed Boston? It was a walk-off
I
eagle
don't know.
putt.
They were in control the entire time. They weren't
Um,
going to lose that match. That's all I mean.
going back to personalities. Wyndham Clark is very good
Hmm.
guy for TGL with the mics, the interviews, kind of the back and forth banter with his teammates, and then also the opponent. He hit some great shots. He hit that walk off putt, against Boston to seal the deal. I was impressed with Wyndham and just his kind of his composure and his approach to being interactive while playing. So
I mean,
I thought that was a nice little surprise.
I was surprised by that as well. I thought it was actually, I mean, Minwoo Lee in that first match. I thought that was kind of
Yep.
cool to see him, and then obviously they switched out and he watched, and then Ludvig being there. Ludvig doesn't talk a lot. He does say some cool stuff. Gets a little animated, a little more than I'd say Lucas Glover, but I mean, I think the Bay is actually kind of a fun team to watch.
Would you say the pressure of TGL led to him being able to win this past weekend?
Reports are saying that, Teddy. I'm seeing them. I'm
The
seeing
blogs,
that
that's what the
connection being
blogs are
made.
saying. I just wanted to
Reports are
bring it up to
reporting
you
that.
guys to see if you shared those same thoughts.
He did say that he showed up at 3:30 in the morning because he had to take a flight after winning the Genesis, and
Makes
then
sense.
woke up at like 7 or something with just a little bit of sleep. The Bay might
Poor
be
guy.
my favorite team after the entire team coming in 49er gear.
Yeah, that's lame.
I know how
It's
to
a
kill
little
it with Cam.
Anyways,
dude.
He was a
Brock
huge
Purdy.
fan until about 30 seconds ago.
No, they were great matches. The Hammer, I think Marty Smith said at some point towards the end of the last match, but like 21 of or 17 of like the 21 points up to that point, like the Hammer was involved, and like that's what you need when you have a little dynamic like that. You need it to be a role in the scoring, and I thought Monday would deliver. It was electric.
I
It
thought,
was
yeah, it
enjoyable.
was it was definitely the best. What did you think about Hideki, Cam?
I don't really have any thoughts about Hideki. It was his
It was his first time
debut,
playing
right?
on TGL. I almost feel bad, like he doesn't speak English.
I think he does. It's just like it's a second language for him, right? And he's mic'd
Yeah,
up, and I think he's just got the approach of like I'm just going to hit the shots and lean on
but it
my
was
two
interesting to
teammates
watch him like
to
actually interact because they were saying like left edge, ball
Mhm.
out stuff, and he was just like thumbs up.
Yeah. I think I
meanwhile, he
enjoyed
does
that
the
too. Like
opposite because he has no idea
when
what they're saying.
when they're all reading putts, like Rory was literally doing like Camilo Villegas style, getting on his hands and knees on his stomach,
Yeah,
reading these putts, and then Keegan Bradley would be crouched down behind him, Hideki crouched down, leaning on his putter. Same with the Bay, all just fully, and this is what it needs. All three of them are fully engaged every shot, which it takes a lot of effort to do that. And these guys, like, they're not performers. They're not made to be in front of a camera like that. But I think Monday, mostly everybody did a pretty good job of figuring
so
that out.
steady for you. I mean, Atlanta beat LA 6-5. Then you've got the Bay beating Atlanta 6-5, and then the Bay beat Boston 5-4. So like every match was close. Like I don't think there
Mm-hmm.
were. I mean, I feel. I don't know. I felt like Boston. It
Well,
was like okay, they're gonna win. And then the LA and Atlanta, they went into overtime.
yeah, LA and Atlanta went into overtime because JT chipped in. He ducked
Yeah,
his chip and then made the next one.
yeah.
And then during overtime, Fleetwood hold it,
Hold it
but
from
the
what
but
they
the
were
other two
35
guys,
yards out.
yeah, but the other two guys didn't do anything, so Atlanta was able to take the W. Um, the Bay is
It,
just so much better than everybody else. Like it looks like it was close, like you said earlier, Justin, but like they're just so much. Like they have Ludvig, they have Wyndham. They're just gonna be hard to beat. They're the team
the
to beat
thing
at
that
this point.
entire team does well on the Bay is they hit it a mile.
Yeah.
Like there's not a player on that team that doesn't hit it over 315. But you get into Tuesday, we go from like the extremes here because Monday was like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty fun watching this much
They
TGL.
figured it out.
Yeah, and then you get into Monday where it's like the two, and I hate to say this because like I wanted to be a Jupiter Lynx fan for Homa, Kisner,
They're
and
awful.
Tom Kim, and then obviously you got the GOAT, Tiger, but it's like, dude, this is so bad. And before you knew it, it was 7-0. with New York,
Yep.
who is on the bottom of all of this. Like they have lost every match, gotten boat raced in every single match, and now they're just crushing Jupiter.
Luckily for Matt Fitzpatrick, I didn't see any snap hooks on Monday
True.
or Tuesday, so good for him.
Got that figured
Yeah,
out.
I mean
Or he's cheating.
Kisner's horrible. Tiger also not great.
Eh,
And
But it wasn't.
Tom Kim roasting him. It was kind of funny. He's like, these old guys just aren't playing. I need them to play.
I need the old guys to get going.
Yeah.
Like they need to get warmed up. But and it feels like sacrilegious to say anything negative against Tiger Woods. Like, because we all have it in our heads, like he's the GOAT, he's the greatest of all time. But like some of his shots were just like smother hooks, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
he
he
that
fully
shot doesn't
snap
ever
hook a
happen.
drive way left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, I towed that one, and it was like, oof.
He's like, I hit that one way out here.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just it's like kind of weird to watch that because you want him to be so good at this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll just be interesting. I mean, we've got was it I mean it's halfway through the season at this point, right? So we only have a few sessions left. You got
Yeah.
Monday the 24th, which I mean LA is gonna boat race New York. There's not a chance that New York even comes close to that. And then you've got Boston and Atlanta, which that could actually be a super fun match. I think the personalities of JT and Rory and Keegan Bradley on display, that'll be fun. And then February 25th, you got Bay and Jupiter, and then March 3rd and March 4th is the last one before it goes into the playoffs.
Yep. Did you see? I think it was Nelly Corda or somebody.
Luigi.
Screen like took a screenshot of Keegan and just wrote Luigi on Instagram. It was
Yeah.
so funny. It fit
That was-
perfectly because of the green.
Yeah.
But he's another good one for this. Like that whole Boston Common team, they've got a good vibe going on with Rory, Keegan, and just having that kind of interaction with each other, and then the banter and all that.
I mean, I'm a Keegan fan after Full Swing last year. Wasn't it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they did that on the Ryder Cup, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like you kind of felt like you got the raw end of the deal on that, and then you started watching him more, and obviously he's playing out of his mind in 2024, and already he's playing great, but he's fiery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of his ugly ass shoes, like I'm a real big fan.
Not to rehash like the whole getting snubbed from the Ryder Cup, but like he literally did everything he needed to do to earn his way to the team, right? He won the Travelers, like he sealed it up, like he was in peak form, just didn't get selected. So I think he's going to be a great captain. Leading the squad. It's just, is the squad going to be able to show up? Is he? The picks are gonna. It's going to be interesting to see who he picks, because I think he's going to learn from him not being picked. I think he's going to go for the guys who
Somebody
are in
that's
best
peaking
form.
at the right time.
Yeah, and who qualifies. Because Europe's going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem for a long time.
Do you think he snubs JT in retaliation?
I don't know. JT's playing well right now. If he keeps
He's
it up,
playing good
probably not.
now.
He'll
JT of
probably
2024, he's not making it on that team.
Yeah.
But
No,
wait, will live players?
I thought I saw something about European players who are live players have an alleyway to get to the Ryder Cup team. I thought I saw something about that, but with my not being so confident in that, maybe not. So
No, I feel like I saw the same thing, but I thought they started. Well, maybe it didn't have enough time to take effect. But I thought they said how last year, like if they qualified through the DP World Tour, they were going to be able to join. But I think players just didn't maybe have enough starts to do it, or maybe it wasn't a definite thing, so they didn't even want to bother with it.
yeah, let me just do a quick Google search.
Sorry,
You froze.
I've got 3 girls in the house right now, or 4 girls, and they're using iPads and stuff. So, are we
Time for
still
them to go
talking about
shovel
Ryder
some
Cup?
snow.
Yeah. Are we still talking about Ryder Cup?
Yes,
Yeah.
Cam is looking up the rules for qualifying on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, so the PGA of America, so it's PGA of America that announced it. They're eligible to compete in the PGA Champ, and then also the Ryder Cup.
Oh,
Any American player who qualifies for the Ryder Cup on points or is added to the U.S. team as a captain's pick. So captains can go out and pick live players in the U.S. Europe maybe not have they may have not have made that concession. Would that be the RNA? I would assume
yep.
that would need to give that kind of go ahead. We'll say, which I think is huge because like I like Brooks Koepka on the Ryder Cup team if he's in good form. Um,
Bryson,
Bryson too. I mean,
he was one
why
of the better
not?
players last year. He does bring a fire to the game too.
Yeah, with his kind of personality shift, I think it would be interesting to see. Um, so, what is it? The top six in OWGR
Autos. Yep.
auto, and then six captains pick. So, I Europe's gonna be a problem. I mean, they got a good young core. Rory's. I mean, he may. I mean, he won Pebble. Don't get me wrong, but like he's been in peak form for quite some time. It's been a kind of a long standing. Just Rory's always in the mix for the most part. Um,
He's one of the old heads on the team now too.
Yeah, and he's one of the old heads, and he still is like one of the longest guys on tour. Which in match play it matters. Like compared to having a 5 iron in, like rather have a 7 or an 8. It's going to
Yeah.
play a big difference, especially those lines he was taking at Pebble Beach. Like it's also going to be
Over
kind of
the green.
intimidating for some of them short hitters. So
He's only 35.
Rory's been around forever. Didn't he start in the PGA like when he was 18?
Yeah, he went pro.
yeah. Rory and I are the same age. You believe that, dude? Just called him an old head.
What's
Yeah.
what's
We're
the
the same
one
age.
decision, and what's the one decision that you think led you from going down your current path and not Rory's path? Why are you not Rory McIlroy at this
Yeah,
moment?
I'm gonna have to blame that on my dead father for not getting me into golf as quickly as he should have. So
Yeah, that's fair.
just rip the band-aid off. I was never really like a focused person. I couldn't focus on one thing. I was always like, yeah, let's do this, and oh yeah, let's go do that. And I grew up playing baseball mostly,
hmm
which I was more interested in like playing, and then like what's the activity after? Like we going to the pool? We going to like what are we doing?
We're going to
Like
meet up with some
oh,
people. What are we
yeah,
doing?
yeah, yeah. I was a big recreation guy. Didn't
hmm
really put any effort or focus past the bare minimum. So, and Rory lived on a golf course from probably like 2 years old to 35 years old current time. So it's a little difference there. I am
He's
Valid.
still
excited to
married,
get.
right?
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah,
end up
he's
getting
still married.
divorced.
They never got divorced.
Yeah.
They reconciled. Um, I am hopeful though. This summer is going to be a good summer for Cruz and I, my son, to get to the range and get around the golf course way more than we did last year. You don't want to bring a 3-year old to the golf course too often. Before, like he listens, he can actually maybe pick up the club, swing it a little harder, maybe focus on it a little bit more. So we'll
He
see.
he will not be focusing on it for the next like 3 years, bro. Like just saying right now, like do not expect him to focus on it. But he can still have a good time.
Dude, when like the tournament's on the TV, he's like engaged with the golf. He
Imagine how
loves
much
watching.
easier it's going to be with a golf membership to just take him out there, play a couple holes, hit a couple shots, then go back home.
Yeah, you know what? There is a course in a town called Elizabeth, just east of us, about probably 20 minutes away. It's public, but they got the membership option. It's like maybe $2,000 a year, $2,500, and it's like pretty much like you could just play. You pay for the card if you want it. Might not be a bad investment for this year moving forward because it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I think it gets a lot of play, but like the pace of play was good the 3 times I played it last year. all the guys I played with like do that membership deal, so they're like
Mhm.
regulars out there. The cart girl knew them, the people in the pro shop knew them. Because like I'd be like, who am I playing with? They're like, oh, you're playing with Raj, dude. This guy's cool. Ponytail, just smoking joints all the time. He owns this electrician business, like pretty laid back.
That sounds like every other electrician
Yeah.
Yeah.
owner that I know.
Oh yeah. And then his
Does
guy
it
that
have
he was
a
playing with
like
just
driving like does it have a member side for the driving range and everything like that? I know it's kind of a
no,
weird question,
no,
but
no, no. It's public, dog. Like what are we
no, I
talking
know,
about?
but
Members
so
only.
our course opens up the back, which there is better grass back there, but and the only reason I'm saying it is because that's where I took my daughter all the time. And honestly, I gave her my phone and I gave her the speaker and I said, you can play whatever music you want back here because it was just us.
Yeah.
So it was like that was her thing. Like she just wanted to play music and be the DJ. Why I got to hit some balls. And I'd bring her
Hmm.
clubs after like, probably the 10th time. And it was like, oh, cool. I'll hit a few. Yeah, play music.
She's
And
kind
then
of used to the area and stuff.
yeah, now it's turned into, Dad, will you watch this? And it's like, okay, well, you've hit all 3 buckets of balls back here and we're done. I didn't
And
give you
Dad got
practice today,
no
but this is
practice
sweet.
today.
Yeah. I guess
So
I'll
actually, on
backtrack.
second thought,
At
Cam,
this point,
maybe you shouldn't take Cruz to the golf course.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just keep the golf course to yourself and
yeah.
have that be your thing.
No, I want I think nothing would be cooler than like don't tell my wife this, but like when he's like in high school and I'm like, dog, you're not going to school there. We're gonna go to the golf course.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's too nice out.
Yeah. Like what are we doing here? You don't need
What
school.
do you have any tests tomorrow? Okay, perfect. We're just gonna me and you. Don't tell your mom.
Yeah. We're gonna act like I'm dropping you off at school or whatever, and then we're just gonna go play golf.
Yeah.
But I will say, let me backtrack. I think this year is going to be a good year just to get him around the environment more.
Totally.
Maybe not focus bring him to the course. Whether I want to hit a small bucket, hit some putts, like let him play with the rangefinder. There when we were out there, the 3 times we went out this year, there was always other little kids like with their dads doing the same thing. So just getting them familiar with it. My wife even volunteered to say if I wanted to play 18, that they ride along for 9. He can sit on the cart with us. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that just yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Go out a little twilight round.
totally.
So, no, excited for that. It's going to be a good year for golf, Teddy. Hopefully, you can play more.
Teddy, I was looking at that the Deer Woods place.
Deerwood?
That place
Deerwood
looks
Country Club?
legit.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
played.
actually looks like a nice course, man. Like
Yeah, no, that's
go
nice.
sign up. Let's go.
I went out there. I've been there once. Played in just a scramble before we even moved up here. Um, and yeah, it's nice. It's a old. I don't know when it was built. Sometime in the 20s, 30s, I think. So it's one of those kind of like early 1900s style courses.
Is it
Not
Donald
too
Ross?
long. I
George
don't
Cobb.
think. Yeah, it's not a Ross, but it's pretty similar. Like it's got the pushed up greens, a little smaller. And yeah, it was nice. It was a nice facility.
Upgraded fitness center.
Pass.
Go to the gym.
Probably
Go
no.
work on them bicep curls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Well, it's almost empty, so I need to get a new one so I
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
can do my next set.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of like the course looking good that you're gonna join, uh, what did you think of the course at Live this weekend, Cam?
It was just very unimpressive. Like the actual conditions. I remember watching. I think it was Sergio in a fairway bunker, and I understand it's around a fairway bunker, but like to the right of the bunker, on the outside of the hole, we'll call it, just like dirt leading into the bunker. I'm like, where's the grass? Do they not have grass in Australia? Like, what's going on here? And it just seemed like it was like just burned out. Does that make sense? Like it just looked like they hadn't watered it like in 6 years. Flat, kind of mundane. It wasn't like exciting. They have that par three that's just really odd from the camera angle. I don't know what
It
number
is.
hole it is. But I think since I described it the way, just like people will know what I'm talking about. This par three, the watering hole is kind of cool. I'll give them that. Like they do that well. It's pandemonium. I mean, there's people like dancing up on their little counter thing that they're on. One guy was doing, I forget what kind of outfit he was, but he was in like a full matching like outfit, just twerking and shaking and stuff. Like I can get down with that. Like that's fun. I don't want that every tournament, right? But I think they, environment wise, they do a good job of like copying the waste management. That's exactly what like let's call a spade a spade. That's what they're doing.
I think
It
that was the
works.
goal.
Yeah. I think Australians by nature are just kind of partiers and like to have a good time and pretty laid back. So it works out to have it there. The course though was just kind of underwhelming, you know. What about you, Justin? Teddy didn't watch any Live Adelaide.
Re- refuse. Actually, I haven't seen anything from it. I don't know how.
Justin's frozen again, so I'll just keep going on my rant. I mean,
Well,
they
but
had
didn't they just sign for like a 10-year deal for Adelaide?
yeah, and then there, I think it's through 2030, 34 or something like that. So right
Okay.
around 8, 9, 10 years, they have an extension. Like, first of all, is Liv even going to be around at that point? And it's I don't mind shooting your shot, and I don't mind planning for the future, but that seems a little excessive.
They might just be playing on simulators at that point.
Especially like when your final round like has 475,000 viewers on it on your party event. You know, your
Biggest
big
event of the
Australian,
year.
you hype it up. I mean, the Genesis had I think 3.4 million on the final round on Sunday, and I get it. You know, it's hard to watch stuff in Australia at 9 o'clock at night if you're a typical American. Like that's not what you're focused on. Because like when I turn it on, I'm like, yeah, I watch like two holes, and I'm like, this is kind of just boring. It's lame. The production's not great. Um, but the live blowhards live and die by it. They think they're just killing the game. It's like, dude, you just signed with Fox, FS1. You had 12,000 viewers on the final round of like your first tournament. Like, I don't know if that's gonna get the job done, guys. So
Well, I don't know if this time helps them either. I mean, for me, I'm on the West Coast, and I actually tried to watch some of it. I mean, I was mildly intrigued to see what was going on with some of them. Um, but for me to watch the final round and to actually see the excitement that happened between Joaquin Neiman and Abraham Answer, like I was going to be up until 11:30, and I don't know, I fell asleep at like 10, and
yeah,
it was just boring at that point. I was like, all right, nothing's really happening. I mean, the team stuff was kind of going back and forth, but I mean, the Fireballs already had it locked up. And so it was just between like second, third, and fourth place to see
mm-hmm.
who was going to get it. And I don't know. The team thing doesn't excite me yet.
From a player's perspective, like they're accomplishing their goal. Joaquin Neiman's made outside of his whatever signing contract was, he's made like $43 million in tournament winnings.
Yeah.
He made another four this week, same as Ludvig. You know, with the signature events. Like from that perspective, they're accomplishing their goal. They're getting their players paid, but it's just like 475 viewers on your final round, 475,000 viewers on your final round. Like I understand Saudi Arabia and the PIF probably have an endless bucket of money. They can't just keep throwing it at it. They're going to get bored at some point, right? Like, what is that? What's going to happen there?
I I don't know. I said it last week. We need to see John Rahm, Bryson, Brooks, Dustin Johnson battling it out.
And Phil.
Yeah, I mean, as a
No, I don't
voice,
care.
But that's the
sure,
thing. Phil would draw a lot of
Yeah.
people.
would.
He just sucks. He's just
I
not.
think
He's
so,
not in contention.
drop people, but we
Maybe
need
him and
those,
Kisner can do like a one-on-one
but
live
I'd
versus
watch
those
that.
PGA.
people, I think that's what they like live when they went out and did this. It was like, hey, we're going to do this. I mean, even think about the business decision of Anthony Kim. We're going to take him out of retirement. We're going to bring him after he hasn't played for over a decade into competitive golf again.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it got some people excited, right? Like one, I was looking forward to a big ass belt buckle, and we have skater Anthony Kim, which cool, different style. He's not the same guy he used to be, right? But I mean, he's still. I think that rust is just going to be. I mean, it's going to take a couple years to kick 10 to 12 years of rust off the belt when you haven't played golf at all, and now you're coming into competitive golf again. But I just don't understand the business choice around some of it. But I will also say that to you, Cam. Like, how long can the PGA Tour go this way? I mean, viewer rankings are down. We're paying people more and more money. Like, if viewership goes down even farther, like, does it become when does the PGA Tour start losing money?
Well, let's remember that the final rounds on the last two tournaments are actually exceeding last year's. So if they're down, then they're not.
Okay.
Who's saying that?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think what's going to happen is I don't know. Does it go back to normal? Like we've been told that we're on like the goal line of a deal coming right between Live and the PGA for the last 2.5, 3 years. What's happening there? Because if there is something like that, and there is a merger, there is an agreement, like does the Saudis put money into the PGA Tour as well as Live, or do funds come over from there? Do sponsors take away more money from the PGA events? I don't know. I
But
don't know.
here's the question, and I don't even know if it matters, but does it even matter if Liv comes back? Like, do any
No,
of us care?
I think it's at the point where it doesn't matter. I think if you just look at like just TV in general, right? Like you're not there's so many different options out there. Like all sports are down except for like NFL, right?
Right.
Like there's so much other content that everybody is consuming. So
Mm-hmm.
like you can't really just say like it's because like you can't say that golf is down because of live or whatever. Just because
Golf
everything.
enthusiasts, yeah, golf enthusiasts who watch tournaments will say 2 out of 4 tournaments a month. They have already moved on from the fact that John Rahm's not going to be in the tournament they're watching.
Yeah.
They've already moved on from the fact that Cam Smith's not going to be around until the majors. Like that's just a part of life. So I don't think I think it'll be better for tournaments, long term because right, like we have the possibility of John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy being in the final group, on Sunday at a major tournament, like or even one of these elevated events, signature events, right? The Arnold Palmer or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it makes it more exciting if that happens, but I don't know if it's going to be that much of a needle mover for the people already who are still watching the PGA events.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my point for it was like we're at this like in the beginning it was a line in the sand, right? And it was like we need to get this because this is destroying golf. We've been going on this 2, 3 years, 4 years now, where it's like, yeah, I don't really. I mean, I've tried to watch the live thing. I'm gonna watch it just because I'm, when it's on and I'm bored. Like, it's great. But if it's the choice between the PGA Tour and live, I'm always gonna watch the PGA Tour. And maybe that's just
Mhm.
because I'm used to it. But I also think it's better production quality,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a huge thing. Like,
Agreed.
so I don't know if it. I mean, I think two leagues can go out there, but I think at some point you're going to start getting sponsors that want to be part of golf, and they're going to have to choose. Like, do we want to actually go this route or the other route, or are we just pulling out of golf altogether?
Do we
Because
want 12,000 people to see us, or do we want three
yeah,
million?
Yeah.
so
I yeah, I don't know. I mean, until a deal's found or something happens, I mean, I think Rory even hinted at this, but like the PGA players are making more money now because Liv put the pressure on them because they were just throwing buku bucks at whoever wanted to come over, which
they
made the
are.
PGA have to be more competitive from a financial standpoint. So
Here's kind of a hot
I
take.
also will say a lot of these sponsors they don't have the PIF money, but they have just pretty much an endless bucket too. It's all tax write off. Like
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
strategic
do you
business
do you think
parts that
YouTube golf is more of an issue than live for the PGA Tour at this point?
maybe for young people, but even then, like young people are still going to tune in to a tournament on Sunday if they like golf. And it's like they
Yeah.
may not be watching the Mexico, watch the Genesis at Torrey Pines South, which has hosted the U.S. Open. Tiger Woods has won their 8 times, 7 Buick championships, 9 times with the Junior World. Like it, the course I think too also plays a role, and Live just doesn't have that draw with their course selection. I don't think.
True.
Whereas PGA, you know, they do. But I
So
don't. YouTube golf is exciting. It's fun. It's fun to watch. But eventually people grow out of it, or they grow out of, who they're watching. Like I used to love watching Bob Does Sports, and now I have to be pretty selective because some of their stuff just isn't the same as it was earlier on in their journey.
I think
For
it's more of an
example.
attention span thing, like slow play in golf, right? Like pros taking 5 hours to play, which I don't really care, but for a lot of people to watch that and they're like, well, I can go watch YouTube golf and I can get a entire match done in an hour and a half, and it's because of editing, right? And it's like
Mm,
just us as society at this point, like we just want that instant and done. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I will
Well, I
say the
think
Bob to
YouTube,
Sports with Spit and Chicklets was pretty good.
dude, is one of the best YouTube
Yeah,
golf videos ever.
it was really
I can't believe they came back. I was
good.
shocked.
It was really good.
I think BDS got a little too sauced for
Yeah.
their talent pool, and Spit and Chicklets, they're probably sauced every night. You know what I'm saying? Like those dudes. I mean, they're
The shots
hilarious.
for the birdies is it finally just caught up to them.
Yeah, and Ryan Whitney's actually pretty good. God, I'm what Richard something, I forget his name. He was pretty good. Paul Biz, not great, but he can
Not
fight.
great.
We've learned that. Perez can only carry him so much. Bob did make a lot of putts, which was shocking. It was one of the most entertaining YouTube golf videos I think I've ever watched.
Agreed.
And I've never really watched like Spitting Chiclet stuff, but now I'm more interested in them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of hockey, let's
I was
talk
gonna
about hockey.
say.
The USA Canada game, which we're filming this on
uh,
Wednesday. Tomorrow is the final for the Four Nations. Uh, you know, a lot of times, especially with NBA, the All Star break is just kaput. It doesn't mean anything anymore with how the NBA's become. No stars are doing the dunk contest. Yeah, Mac McClung jumping over a car, making the dunk. That's cool. I want to see LeBron James do it. I'm sorry. I don't want to see you, Mac McClung. Whereas the NHL, like, hey, we're going to try something new. And right off the bat, just electric. Canada booing the anthem because of tariffs that probably aren't even in effect right now, but just the idea of them just losing their mind over that.
Yeah.
And then the Kachuk brothers just going in. 9 seconds in, there's 3 fights.
yeah.
One of the most electric sporting events that doesn't matter ultimately that you've ever
No,
watched.
doesn't matter at all, really. They hadn't
Like
done it in
they
what,
instantly
9 years, 10 years?
they instantly like created like just like this is going to matter moving forward now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like that's essentially the Ryder Cup of hockey is how I'm looking at it. So it was crazy. I mean, I'm about to skip.
I watched it. I don't
Yeah,
watch hockey.
I like hockey. It's not something that's like high on my list of priority to watch. Like if it's on, I'll put it on. If the Hawks are somewhat decent, I'll pay more attention to it. The Blackhawks, they're terrible now.
They were terrible last year too.
Yeah, they were I mean, they've been bad for a while, but
Yeah.
Hockey's the best live sport though.
it's so fun live.
Yeah, like I went to an Avalanche game last year when I came to Denver, and I was like,
Did you invite Cam to that?
No, he didn't. He did not.
I was gonna say it was the first time hearing about it.
I didn't go to any Avalanche games last year.
Weird. Justin went to one.
Justin, I heard you went to an Avalanche game.
But
Cam, don't you live in just outside of Denver?
oh gosh, here we
I don't
go.
even think I got a call, not a text, not even I'm in Denver.
I had to take my team for work.
I'm part of your team.
I was gonna say, is Cam not? You guys work at the same place?
Not directly.
I'm
Not directly.
pretty sure you're not, but
No, hockey's awesome live. You know what's great about living in like the Denver area too is DU, the University of Denver. They're
Hmm.
always top five
They have a
team in the
good,
nation.
yeah.
College,
Just
yeah.
have a great program. Like you're pretty much when you go see, say, a DU versus like Boston College game at Denver, you're pretty much watching all future pros play. Like they're getting
Yeah.
drafted next year or two. It's awesome hockey, awesome atmosphere. And hockey in general is just kind of like high flying. There's no really lull, when they're on the ice. And when there is a lull, it's really quick. It's a face off. It's a fight. Like it's not even a lull really. It's just a
Yeah.
little pause, back to the action.
There's no
So,
playing through hockey.
so we're now a Pitchmark Collective hockey podcast. So we got that on our
Puck,
resume.
Puck Mark Collective.
Puckmark Collective.
Mark.
Let's talk about the Genesis kind of final round
Oh yeah,
fireworks
that's right.
from Mav McNeely. Shooting what 8 under par. He was 8 under
800.
through 11, and then kind of stagnated. And Ludvig just chased him down.
I
Guy's a
think he just
machine.
kind of, yeah, he just kind of cooled off, and he just kind of ran out of holes. Just finished too early.
I believe we call that running out of steam.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was still a good tournament though. Like there
that was a
was
great tournament. There's a
Yeah.
bunch
up
of
and
guys.
down. There was some excitement there on Sunday. Like, I mean, I called it on our Instagram story. I was like, "Oh, Scotty's making a run. Here we go.
Mhm.
He's coming back to do it." And I mean, obviously he ran out of steam, but there was a bunch of people that were starting to make some birdies and make things happen. And it was cool to actually see Ludwig finish that off. And, I think he started Sunday in third and then go to win. And like, I mean,
Mhm.
there was a fluctuation of a bunch of different people right there. So it was super fun to watch.
Yeah,
And even
Ludvig.
earlier on Saturday, was Saturday the stormy day? No, or sorry, was it Friday or
No,
was it Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday was crazy to watch some of those
Yeah.
shots. Like watching Colin Morikawa hit a 3-wood on a par three, like just full swing 3-wood on a par three. Scotty, I mean, he might have been using a 5-wood or a 7-wood, but he was, you don't pull a head cover on a par three very often, especially for those guys.
not those guys. No.
Yeah,
I
and
love. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
the wind was insane.
We were talking about in text about Bandon. I'm like, I don't have the ball flight for windy conditions. So, sorry, my dog just scared the crap out of me. But did you know? Did you know on Thursday there was as many rounds in the 80s as there was in the 60s for Thursday's round?
I could see it. Yeah.
There was a 69, two 69s, and then Adam Hadwin shot 83, and Rasmus Hogard shot 82.
Yeah.
Teddy, do you
And
like playing that kind of weather? Like, I know you don't like playing golf in general right now, but do you mind playing like windy, rainy, like
No,
inside?
well, rainy. No, I hate playing in the rain. Windy, I'm okay with because it does make it a little more difficult. You kind of have to focus a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I do kind of like the challenge of like playing
Trying to,
these 40-mile-an-hour gusts. And you're hitting shots that you don't usually hit. So yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
I do like the idea of trying to keep shots like low and knock them down. And okay, normally I take an 8 iron here. We're gonna grab a 6 and try
Yeah,
and keep
we're
it
gonna hit a
lower.
nice little punch 5 iron and
Yeah,
just try to chase something up there.
have a
Yeah,
chippy
it's way
shot.
more fun. Yeah.
yeah,
We,
yeah.
I don't know about like in the Denver area where you're at in Parker, but Redmond, it's always got some sort of wind. I mean, there's
Yeah,
always
we get really windy down here.
it's always 10
In
miles an
Parker.
hour. If it's under 10 miles an hour, it's like hell yeah. It's like gonna be nothing. But we've always got something like that. I'm
We lost them
when
again.
when I played Chambers, Teddy, it was
Oh, you
windy and
played
like
Chambers Bay?
yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but I played Chambers Bay last year. But it was pretty windy the day I was there. It wasn't like bad, but you're walking like it kind of beats you up a little bit. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, I looked at my caddy. I'm like, am I ever gonna have some help here from this wind? He's like, yeah, there's like 2 holes coming up. I'm like, 2? There's 18
Yeah,
holes, right?
that's the other thing. Like, why is it that every golf course, like majority of the holes, if it is windy, like it's into the wind?
Yeah.
It's
It's
never the opposite.
always into the wind. And then like
I
when you get the one like that's at your back, it's like a par 3 that's like 120 yards. And
yeah,
you're like, I
cool.
literally don't have a club I can hit because the wind's
Yeah,
going to push the ball.
yeah. I never
Just
understood that.
we were just talking about how it seems like every time you're playing windy golf, you're teeing off into the wind. It's very rarely like at your back, and
Never downwind.
never
No,
down.
I mean you might get one hole.
We have a par 5. It's a 6 hole. It's 619 yards from the green tees, and it is predominantly downwind. But that
See,
makes
no. There's
hole
one in
7.
Ocala that's like 620 or 630, and it's always into the wind, and it's uphill.
Yeah, but see, like 7 is like 560, and it's always into the wind. So it's like,
Mm,
So it
I
plays
mean,
the 610 or 620 or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even downwind at 620 yards, like
yeah, it's still a couple good pokes.
I've reached it twice ever, like getting on the green, and I think I've
Mm-hmm.
eagled it once, and I've
Yeah.
played there a lot.
Yeah, we're aware.
I got a hot take about the Genesis.
Okay,
With
the
all
car
the
or the
low,
tournament?
with all the low scars, I mean, they look like nice cars. Never been in one, but with all the low scores, Patrick Rogers just is who everyone's worried that like Ludvig's going to be. He just can't close. He's got, I think, the most tour starts without a win. Him and Denny McCarthy are like on the top 5 list. He shot 1 under par, which you think Sunday, like you want to definitely be at least under par. He just kind of gave it away. He didn't put much. I don't want to say effort, but like it just wasn't there.
Just
He's
didn't
not a
have it that
Sunday
day.
closer.
Well,
Yeah.
look
He's
at
not a closer.
the rounds of the finishing people. Like Patrick Rogers 71, so he totally just pooped down his leg.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next 71 you get to is tied for 5th, Denny McCarthy. Then it takes you all the way to tied for 13th, Davis Thompson, which that guy coming into the day, you really thought he was going to do something, didn't do anything.
I picked
Then,
him for my Sunday surge.
you know what's interesting? Rory
Yeah,
shot
he
a
Mm.
kind of.
72 on Sunday. I mean, he was having some
Mm-hmm.
putting issues, and then you kind of get into the group, but it took until like, 17th, 20th to actually see significant amount of 70s.
Yeah. Luckily for Davis Thompson, he's got way less years than Patrick Rogers and Denny McCarthy on tour. I think he's still pretty young. Yeah, I thought overall great tournament. It wouldn't have surprised me if Scotty Scheffler kept the gas pedal down and went like 8-9 under to win. But I'm glad Ludwig got the win. He's easy to root for
Mhm.
until he's on
Surprised
Team
you didn't
Europe.
pick him.
I've picked him pretty much every other tournament except for the
Yeah.
ones he wins.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Speaking
surprised.
I
of,
thought you had picked him.
I am down significantly bad in our season long pick 'em.
What's why don't you go ahead and run us through the current standings while
Yeah,
you're talking about
why
it?
don't we do that? Let's update the viewers. So Teddy, you're in first by 2 points. You have 7.
Hmm.
These points are with the current ones, right, Justin?
Yep.
Yep. So 7 points for Teddy. He's on a rip roaring tear. JL, Justin, you're 2 points behind him at 5. And I'm 3 points behind Justin at 2 points. We're
That's
what?
pretty
This is
bad.
tournament number 4 that we picked.
Yeah.
It's
It's not good. It's not good, dude.
It's not good.
So
It's not good at all.
Teddy got the cut because he picked out even, but then also got high finisher, which is crazy because none of us even came close. I mean, he got JT. And then you know what I'm bummed about? Like I was hoping that this was going to be the backwards curse. I was going to pick Max Oma for a DFL and he was going to just like come out guns blazing and like play really well.
He did
And
not do that.
he did not do that. So it officially does not
76,
work the
75
other
for
way.
Max. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
funny.
Well, that just means the curse is broken.
My DFL was tied for first after the first round, so I was feeling really good about that. with Seamus Power, he decides to play his best hole, which makes sense. He's Irish. He played in bad weather, I'm sure, a lot. He thrived in the windy, rainy conditions, and bad picks, man. I don't feel bad about my Michael Kim pick. He wasn't far off from JT. I think it was one stroke. Top 15, top 20.
Yeah, he was
but
tied for 13.
so I don't feel awful about it. You just happen to pick JT Teddy, who finished slightly ahead of him.
Top 10. I think, is
But
this our first top 10 finish so far? We haven't been good the last couple weeks. It might have been.
yeah,
I feel like we were floating around like 19th, 20th, which is unfortunate. But I thought for some reason I should have looked at the sheet, but I thought Justin picked Scotty, and I thought you picked Oberg. So I was like, I'm screwed. I'm
Right.
screwed.
That was the week
right. No,
before.
Teddy, I think you've gotten 2 points 3 times. So that helps your cause
points.
when you're picking them. So
I had a bad first week, and you guys thought it was going to be easy this year.
Teddy's looking to repeat his
Sorry
pick'em championship. He's defending right now. He's defending.
I'm
well.
looking to not get last place, so as long as I stay in second, I don't care.
Justin's main goal is just not be last out of 3 people. So that's where his bar was at. Should we? I don't think we need to necessarily go into the Mexico Open. Jake Knapp, kind of how he broke out last year, won. He was like 22 under last year. He's got a smooth swing, bombs the ball. I do say I like these kind of fields because it does kind of catapult, a lot of guys like Jake Knapp.
It opens it up, and yeah,
we saw him a couple weeks after that at the Arnold Palmer and everything, and I think he was even in contention for that. So it is good for the pro, just not necessarily probably a needle mover for the viewership as much. So should we just kind of get into picks, or what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I think I'm between a couple guys. Do you want to do cut first, maybe?
Yeah, why don't we do cut first? So it'd be Teddy, then Justin, then me, and then we'll do DFL, and then we'll do winner. All right, Teddy, what's your cut?
200.
2 under, he says.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's crap.
Okay.
Crap.
Justin, what's your pick?
Last time I thought I went low enough, but now I've got to figure out if Cam is going to go high.
I think he's going to go high. I think he would take the 3 or 4 under.
No, you know what? I'm going 1 under.
Yeah, I'll go 3 under.
Yeah. Perfect. I was floating between 2 and 3, Cam. So
the last 2 years, the cut has been 1 under.
So do we?
That's stats.
No, last year was 2 under.
No, it was 1. Oh wait, sorry. This is 2020.
So some notable winners out of here. John Rahm won the first one, 21-22. We know where he's at. He was a superstar and then went to live where nobody watches. Then Tony Finau won after that. Like Finau needs to close. Like he needs to win another tournament, like a big one, like a signature event, win a major. But Jake Knapp then won the third. So just thought that was interesting seeing John Rahm and Tony as past winners. All right. So DFL, Ted, who do you got?
Will Gordon.
He just scrolled all the way to the bottom to see who
No.
picked.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Have you heard of Will Gordon before? The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, his brother Jeff was a pretty good driver back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Loved left turns, huh?
Love left turns.
All
there's actually some cool players in here. Blades Brown is playing.
Yeah.
That junior. And then you got Luke Clanton coming in again. So hopefully he could make the cut and get his tour card. That'd be kind of cool.
Would it be kind of like a dick move to pick Blades Brown as your DFL?
Yeah.
Was he like? He's 17, 16?
Something like
I'm
that.
going.
Pick a teenager to lose.
We're going Justin Hastings.
Have you ever heard of him before?
Nope.
Like twice, dude.
It's the reason for picking him.
So DFL for your boy Cam. Should pick Ben Martin. He screwed me. Not gonna pick Ben. I'm gonna pick Ryan Palmer.
Oh,
Ooh,
I was so
that's-
close to saying Ryan Palmer again because I picked him in one of the.
He's only
other
in tournament career money exemption. Probably not. He's not playing well. He's my pick. He had like a 9, I think, at the Waste Management.
He did.
That's a good pick. Okay.
All right. Who's our winner?
So I'm gonna go. Where was he? I just had him. Steven Yeager.
That's a good pick. I think
Thanks.
that's who Colt picked. Colt Nose picked on forget the name of the podcast.
Gravy and the Sleaze.
No, it was an actual podcast.
Oh.
Saw a clip of it. I do love
All
me
right.
some gravy though.
I'm pulling Akshay.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a popular pick this week.
He's in pretty good form. If he can keep progressing and when it comes time for the Masters or one of these signature events, he's definitely going to be on my radar for sure. Good pick there, Justin. Hope you lose. We're gonna do something crazy here.
I love it.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm gonna go with Joel Damon.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Fan favorite though. I kind of like the pick.
Small, like not small, but
Smaller field.
alternate field. It's an alternate event. It'd be a good time for him to come out and play well. Could also be a good time for him to shoot like 81, 79 and not make the cut. So we'll see.
Back.
Possible.
I mean, you got Patrick Rogers coming back to this event after last week falling. You got Michael Kim, which is actually where I thought you were going, Cam. I
was between Michael Kim, Jake Knapp going back to back, and Joel Damon.
I thought about Jake, but for a younger guy to go back to back in a tournament like that, I think it'd be pretty
Yeah,
tough.
it's tough.
So, but
there's pretty good odds on Joel Damon too. Plus 12,000.
I like it. Go put a unit on him.
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys. I got to roll. I've got a basketball game that I've got to attend to, and
You're gonna go dunk on him, dude? Are you Mac McClung?
My daughter.
Is that Mac McClung? Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. Love that. All right. Everybody, listeners, appreciate you sticking around for the hour in 8 minutes and 22 seconds this took. Please like, subscribe, share. We're the Pitchmark Collective on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and we are now on Apple Podcasts because I'm a genius. Shout out to Tim Hunt for the persistency.
Yeah.
And he just kept pressuring us and fan favorite of the podcast. We love him. We'll see you all next time.
See you, boys.